This is Smoking Out the Closet. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Rayven Greer.
Hi, I'm Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Alex. I use they, them pronouns.
Welcome back to another episode of
Smoking Out the Closet.
How you doing today, honey?
I'm doing all right. My voice is still a little rough from the other day, but...
Yeah, mine's a bit there still, too, but not as bad as yours. So, I will say, welcome to those of you who are new or just joining us, or those of you who don't know. We are a queer podcast that talks about cannabis, the LGBT community, and everything in between and beyond. So, we just got a couple of affiliate programs that we're a part of, and one of the really cool ones that we have actually started with, before we actually get into the topic, what we're going to do today is we're actually going to do a product review, and it's not going to be at the top of the episode. We're using one product right now, kind of doing a little bit of review of it, and then we're going to use another product that they sent us to kind of compare the two. But we're actually affiliate with DaVinci Vaporizers.
Takes a pull totally as a sponsor. Our first sponsor for the show. I just want to talk about this box real fast because you said this was coming. You said, "Hey, Alex, the DaVinci is in the mailroom," and I was like, "Cool, I'll go grab it before I go to." I went to Sally's to get my hair dye, and I picked it up. I was like, "This is a big freaking box."
Mm-hmm.
They sent us more than just the device in this box. They sent us a lot of things. They sent us the device they wanted us to review, which is what the one we're going to be reviewing today. A product to compare the two between. They sent us a nice water pipe, a nice hand bubbler, and a nice silicone pipe. All of the things they sent us have warranties on them, which are great.
Yeah, that is really nice and everything, especially because we have cats.
Yeah.
And we're stoners, so I mean,
you always give stoners warranties.
Mm-hmm.
This session's ended for this. I'm gonna let it sit and cool down a little bit.
Is there any smoke in it still?
Vape,
smoke, whatever the proper terminology.
It's vape.
Yeah, there's still some in there. So, first off, right off the bat, this is a great product. Mostly because, like the state of Pennsylvania, you're not allowed to combust flower. So you have to vaporize it. And most people, when they think vaporizing and dry herb vaporizers, their brain automatically goes to the Volcano, which is some around $400 to $700 product, depending on which version you get.
It's extremely expensive.
Plus the bags you refill. Which, fun fact, don't buy the Volcano bags. Just get the fucking turkey bags.
Turkey bags?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I instantly thought Butterball turkey. Oh, this is freaking cool. I'm sorry. I'm sitting over here playing with the DaVinci. But yeah, no, the Volcano is very expensive. It's a tabletop herb vaporizer. Mm-hmm. This DaVinci, you have the IQC here. This guy is a little handheld vaporizer. I have kind of small hands. It's a little bit bigger than the palm of my hand. But I do have smaller than average hands.
About 3.25 inches tall and about an inch and a half wide by 1/4 of an inch thick. I mean, it's not super bad. I mean, my hand, if it's perfectly, I can literally just hide it in my entire hand.
It's a little big for me. Like I said, I have small hands though, so.
Okay, it's not a vape. But yeah, like I was saying, in the PA medical system here in the state, we're not allowed to combust it. So there are certain ways you can use a dry herb vaporizer. Yocan has some really good dry herb vaporizers.
I actually have one from Yocan. I have the Evolve D, which I've been using. If you were there for our live for the Pittsburgh Canifest, or you watched the live that I posted on Instagram, that is the Yocan Evolve D. It's a nice vaporizer. It works off a coil-based system. This guy is a chamber. Most of the coil systems that I have used have an issue with uneven heating. So you'll get a donut through the middle of it. And also I feel like those just single buttons don't really have a whole lot of temperature control. Whereas this DaVinci has it sets off it starts in one of their settings that's like a certain session. It lasts. It's a timed session. It increments up, steps up slowly the temperature for whatever herb you're using. And it has different like sessions you can do. You can also independently control the temperature. I think this thing I saw has Bluetooth too. I didn't get to mess with it a whole lot. I just charged it.
Yeah, we haven't
So-
done the full like range of what it is. We're gonna do like a promotional piece for that. But on the side here it says works with dry herbs and extracts. Extract kits sold separately, so you could use this for your concentrates. You just have to get a special adapter bit. It's got a USB-C charging port,
which is nice because now I feel like everything's going to USB-C.
heat not burn between 32 to 430 degree Fahrenheit or 0 to 221 degrees Celsius. It takes 30 seconds for it to heat up. 1 hour charge with a removable rechargeable battery.
Which is your standard, if anybody listening to the podcast vapes, it's your standard 18650, or if you guys go to like Harbor Freight or whatever, the battery is replaceable and interchangeable, which is really nice. That way, if the battery doesn't hold charge very long, go to any of your head shops, go to any vape stores. Like I said, Harbor Freight, pick up, or Lowe's also pick up an 18650 battery. You can also charge them on a bay, which will like make the battery last a lot longer. You can have some that are already charged, so you can just swap them out if you're using this as like your primary device.
It's got like a 0.5 gram dry herb oven, or where you put the ground flower in, and a 5-year warranty. I mean, this is a really nice product. I really like this. So before we compare it to the other product we got from them, I definitely want to compare it to the products we've used, your Yokan Evolve D and the G Pen that we first got when we first came into the program. Now, I don't know if that's like the best one. It just happened to have Snoop Dogg's name on it or what. Those were very bad.
They're very poorly made. And like I said, not super long ago, it has a coil-based system on that one too. If you have the coils at the bottoms, they don't heat super even. They don't really vaporize. They don't really like heat. They combust. So they're still illegal. Like they don't. A lot of those just have a one singular button. It's not a lot of temperature control.
I feel like it does vaporize the first 2 sessions, but if you don't like hardcore clean it with like isopropyl alcohol and like get really in there, it's just gonna get gunked up, and that gum up stuff is going to start combusting everything.
Now, the thing that I noticed about the at least the Evolve D is it had a little bit more tendency to like go through the middle. Like I said a little bit ago when you were up checking on the cat, it donut through the middle. I did use this other product last night because I was just too excited and I didn't want to wait. But the other vaporizer that we have, and these chamber ones are really nice because I feel like you get more of like a convection oven sort of feel to it instead of something that has a heating element on the bottom, because then you have to get in there and you have to like rotate things around.
So
and
it's more like an easy bake oven?
It's more like an easy bake oven. So instead of having, because, things burn up from the bottom, but if you have the stuff at the bottom that's getting all charred and stuck, then you have to get in there and flip it around. This is more of a, hey, I can set it. I can just set for the sesh. It'll be okay. You don't have to like flip any bowl or anything in there. This does come with a cute little like, I think it's that is the bottom chamber. On the top chamber where you put your mouth, there's this little tiny key thing, which is what I was playing with earlier, that you can also use to poke and scrape your bowl or whatever, and then it just slides right back in here by the side of it. And there's also this little chamber I was reading in the book that I guess you can, it's your air filter, but you can also throw like extra herb in there, which is kind of cool. And it pops out with that little key beside it.
And here's my thing with this too. It's like, it's super inconspicuous. Because, I mean, if you just kind of look at it, no one's going to know, oh, hey, that you're using this for dry herb, unless you know. It's one of those things, if you know, you know. Honestly, this looks kind of like a kazoo or a harmonica in a way.
Or it does look like a vape, but it doesn't look like a dry herb vaporizer is the thing. It looks like it could just be, a
like,
regular...
Yeah, like you pop the top off, and then you throw your, like, nicotine vape cartridge inside and then just kind of close it up and then suck on it, you know what I mean? I honestly I feel like this is kind of like a kazoo though.
Yeah, the mouthpiece thing is kind of odd for this. Do we want to try to put this through another session, or do we want to like rest it?
I say rest it just in case it doesn't pick up anything on the audio feed.
Okay.
Um,
So I was gonna say we still have a little bit of herb in there. I feel like we could use, not really,
okay.
but
But I would say it is nice. The one thing with flavor with dry herb vaporization is the flavor kind of comes out a bit differently than it is in combustion.
it tastes toasted. You toasted your herb instead of obviously burning it. It's very mellow.
Mm-hmm.
It's not harsh. And it's very nice. Also, I'm gonna point something out too. With your temperature control, you also can tune in for certain terpenes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know a specific flower that you have has this amount of terpene and it's really high in that, you can adjust the temperature to bring that out more, which is really nice. And that'll change the flavor and it'll change how the temperature of the cloud and everything. Like going back to how it's inconspicuous too. There's not a whole lot of like vapor you exhale.
Mm-hmm.
You get a nice warm hit, but not much comes back out, which is
Mm-hmm.
nice because you could just kind of like take this with you anywhere.
Yeah, an easy way to just kind of like sneak during like a smoke break or something. We're like walking downtown.
I do want to say it doesn't have a lot of like, you can't really smell it. So if you put it in your
Mhm.
bag, it's not going to be like you open your bag and it's like bam loud in your face,
Mhm.
right?
I will say though, I feel like now this may be just because we set it on lower temperature for now, but I feel like so we're using a new strain too, which also might be part of it. We got G Perps from Verano, and it definitely felt like it's a different flavor, and I don't know if that just part of I'm so used to the smokiness to it comparatively, but it definitely felt different. But I still feel a lot of the medicated effects of the strain.
I can speak on this a little bit more. I have used a Volcano
Mm-hmm.
since we've talked about them. Obviously, not my own. They're very expensive. Unless we partner with them, I probably won't be able to get one for a while. But I had used somebody I know is Volcano, and it has the same similar flavor to it. Also, the effects are going to vary because it's a different method.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I feel like it definitely does. As far as vaporization goes, it kind of creeps up on you a little bit more than like if you were to smoke it was because it's more like okay like I'm starting to feel a little bit of like the medication effects and stuff like that. It takes you a little bit more to get stoned, but whenever you do it kind of like smacks you.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I guess, how am I trying to say this?
It's a creeper.
It's a creeper, at least for like the stuff that I've had in vaporizers, and that's been with a couple different strains too.
Okay.
So it does taste a little bit different. Like that flavor I do remember from when I've used the Volcano before. It's a similar flavor to what I get whenever I use the Yokan. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
will say that this doesn't have like that tobacco-y flavor to it that I have gotten with that Snoop Dogg G Pen and with that Yokan.
Okay.
That's something that the low quality vaporizers just tend to make your herb taste like tobacco, and it's kind of gross, I'm not gonna lie. Because if I wanted tobacco, I would go have tobacco.
Well, since we've already spent quite a decent chunk on this time, I'm not going to say like, hey, let's actually use this one together, but you have.
Yeah, I have used that. I mean, we could talk about it too because they did send us this what is it called? The Fury
or we can
Edge.
Or we could talk about this one next episode.
We could, but it's up to you. I've already used it, so
yeah, I just don't have anything to weigh in on it right now yet.
Yeah.
So I probably just say because time, we'll do this one next episode.
Okay.
What would you want to rate this?
Oh, we're rating the device?
Yeah, what would you want to rate the device?
I honestly don't know because I haven't used a lot of
vaporizers.
It's very nice. It's portable. It definitely gets points for that because that's another thing. If I can use like something more than just like being at home, like a Volcano, I just use it when I'm at home. But I mean, it's convenient. It's like handheld. It's not super heavy. I honestly, I like it. The price point's a little much, but I do think that it is worth it. It's like, I think $200. This model is $200, I want to say. The IQC.
I'm on the app right now. It is $199, but they do offer for interest-free payments of $49.75 with Sezzle.
So I feel like if you do that, that would be It would be easy to break it up that way. And it definitely is worth it. So definitely, I'd give it like a 4.5 out of 5. It's a really nice vaporizer. You don't have to feel like you're committing to just having something for home. You can take this with you if your workplace allows you to medicate. Or if you're staying over like a friend's house and they allow you to medicate as well, you can bring it with you. But it's, yeah, I really like this. I'd say it's like a 4.5 out of 5. It's definitely the best like portable vaporizer that I've used.
Yeah, and I would say it it looks really nice. The app looks like you can go into more like detailed controls, like how it heats, the exact pattern, and how like it raises and drops a little bit.
I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah,
because
we'll
I was
definitely have to
all
mess
about
with
that
that.
with my packs too.
It's very nice, very inconspicuous. I feel like it's going to be really good for especially the medical marijuana program here in the state. So I feel like that's going to be a big bonus with that. So yeah, I give it 4 out of 5. There's a whole lot more I want to see with this, and kind of want to do a deeper dive with like the video we're going to be doing or something like that with this. But whatever we do, I really like this. It's super nice, super portable, easy to charge with most devices going to USB-C. It's very sleek, definitely easy to clean. I already know it's going to be super. Yeah, that's not hard at all to clean, honestly.
That's the nice thing with those chambers too, is it doesn't get super sticky, and if you just keep up with it, like they give you the brush, they give you alcohol wipes in the box, they tell you how to clean it, recommended daily, like weekly cleaning, and after every use, basically just get all the extra gunk out of there, take a little brushy around it, give it a good old pokey poke, and then put it away, and you're good. And then like deep clean it once a week, which is like taking some of the probably some of the pieces out. But
and I do like it's got like the display on the front of the device itself. It's kind of like those like dot light things.
yeah, that's kind of interesting.
And
It's
it
a very
tells you
modern
the temperatures and everything on it.
Yeah, that's
I
very
like that style.
It's very sleek and very modern.
So yeah, I give it a 4 out of 5. I definitely love this. I like the color.
Yeah, they gave us I think that's called Sapphire, is what they gave us.
Okay.
So
But yeah, it's nice. I definitely like this. This is our first product review. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get more.
we get more. We do have something else in the works right now too, which will be fun.
So, but yeah, definitely. If you want, I don't know if DaVinci does it with theirs, but I've ordered something else with Sezzle with a coupon off code, and it still worked with that coupon off.
Oh, that's fun.
So with our affiliate program, if you just type in their coupon thing or promo code when you check out at DaVinciVaporizers.com, just put in SOTC15 for 15% off your total order. And I'm just going to double check that to be on the safe side, because this is our first affiliate code.
And we will definitely put that in the show notes and everything whenever we post this episode, since we are going to be posting a little bit later. I will post on Instagram the picture of everything that came in that box. Possibly the video on like our reels, because I sent it to you on Facebook Messenger. I was like, there is so much in this. I was just like, I opened it, I look at it, and I just opened it. I'm like, there's just so much. And I just pulled out packing after pack. It's like, there's so much in this box.
There was, and like we were so grateful. So thank you from DaVinci Vaporizers.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us this chance.
Thank you so much. And honestly, we haven't done this in a while. I think they should be our Zkittle this week.
They should. And it's like it's really nice because it's our first affiliate. I've applied to a couple programs. Some got back to me, some didn't. I tried Puffco, and they just stopped contacting me, which kind of sucked. But I mean, I still love Puffco. I got a Puffco Plus recently for free from a nice little raffle, and that's really nice too. But like, I feel like this is kind of up there with that Plus, at least, because that's the pen the pen vaporizer for concentrates. I feel like this would be a really good thing to have in my bag. It's just a thick boy.
It is thick.
But I like it. I really like this. But yeah, again, our promo code is SOTC15 for 15% off site wide.
We should make a little clippy and put it at the top of the episode for DaVinci, like we did with the Cannabis Festival.
Yeah, we're gonna. My plan to do that is something like that. Is through the episode have that little shout out, kind of similar to what Cadabra does with their affiliates.
Okay.
It just, we have to record that, but I wanted to do at least a review of the, like an honest, no edit, just kind of review of the product to see how we felt about it. And honestly, I really like this, and I think we're going to use this quite a bit.
I feel like we are too.
Especially because winter's around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to go outside.
Well, even with the, I was just thinking about this earlier too. With the 2 products they gave us, we could swap back and forth because
we could.
I do. The DaVinci is really nice, and it's just like, hey, here we go. Let's go swap back and forth.
So we're gonna go on a quick break, and then we'll be back to kind of talk about a topic I feel like we touched on quite a bit throughout the episodes, but we're gonna do a full deep dive on it with how the Pennsylvania medical marijuana program works and stuff we think y'all should know. But before that, we're going to have me on this day in history. Welcome back to another part of On This Day in History. Today we're looking at September 20th, going back all the way this time to 365 BCE, or before the Common Era. Alexander the Great, king of Macedonia, is born. He was king of Macedonia and conqueror of the Persian Empire. He's considered one of the greatest military geniuses of all times. Alexander spent his childhood watching his father transform Macedonia into a great military power, winning victory after victory on the battlefields through the Balkans. History believe Alexander was gay. In 1890 in Germany, Dr. Erwin Gorbant studied medicine at the Military Medical Academy and graduated in 1917. Then worked at the Charité Universität Mediz in Berlin. He did initial operations on the first 2 transgender people in modern surgery. In Berlin, 1931, Dora R., born as Rudolph R., became the first known transgender woman to undergo vaginoplasty. According to Dr. Felix Abraham, a psychiatrist working at the Institute for Sexual Science, where Dora was employed as a domestic servant, her first step to feminization was made by means of castration in 1922. In 1931, the highly then experimental vaginoplasty was performed by Dr. Erwin Gorbant, who later became a decorated Surgeon General in Luftwaffe. In 1917, France, bisexual American painter Romain Brooks had a 3-year affair with the Russian ballerina Ida Rubinstein. Painting portraits of her during that time. One was The Weeping Venus, which was featured at the opening of the Expo Center in Pompidou, Metz. In 1955, the New York chapter of Daughters of Billets, a group formed by lesbians, including Barbara Gitz, the meetings at the office of Matching Society of New York. The chapter is the first lesbian organization on the East Coast. In 1971, John Singer, later known as Figel Ben Miram, a fellow activist Paul Barwick, applied for a marriage license in Seattle. Singer was a U.S. activist for LGBT rights and gay marriage pioneer, filing one of the first gay marriage lawsuits in American history after being denied a marriage license at King County Administration Building in Seattle, Washington in 1971. The case Singer versus Hara was the best-known gay marriage case in the state of Washington until Anderson v. King County in 2006. Barwick served 3 years in the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War, working as a police officer. He currently lives in San Francisco, California, his residence for the last 30 years. In 1973, in their so-called Battle of the Sexes, tennis star Billie Jean King defeats Bobby Riggs in straight sets 6-4, 6-3, 6-3 at Houston Astrodome. 1980, Bruce Mailman opens the Saint Disco in New York City, heralding what many gay New Yorkers remember as the zenith of the clone era. He was an East Village entrepreneur, off-Broadway theater owner, and founder of the Saint and New St. Mark's Baths in 1979. 1996, Bill Clinton announces he is signing a bill outlawing same-sex marriage, but said it would not be used as an excuse for discrimination, violence, intimidation against gays and lesbians. 1996, in Saudi Arabia, 24 Filipino workers received the first 50 lashes of their 200 lash sentences for alleged homosexual behavior. Despite protests for Amnesty International, the government goes ahead with the sentence and later deports the workers. In 2010, in Peru, LGBT activist Alberto Osorio was found murdered in his apartment in Lima. 8 similar cases against LGBT individuals in Peru occurred in that same year. 2011, the military's Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy is officially repealed and had been in effect since 1993. And in 2013, Cassidy Lynn Campbell, 16, becomes the first transgender public homecoming queen in the United States at Marina High School in Huntington Beach, California. This has been your On This Day in History for September 20th. Alrighty, and we are back and relifted. So on this episode, we're talking about the PA medical marijuana system. I had it. I'm sorry, I got a little extra chastity.
Remembered.
So and you can chime in at any time, Alex. To be registered in the Pennsylvania medical marijuana program, you have to do 2 major things. First, you have to get a consultation with a certifying physician. Now, there's some all over the state. You can find a list on the PA. Just Google PA certified medical marijuana physician. If there should be a list of those in your area, or the PA.gov medical marijuana sites. If you're in a city, they're pretty easy to find. There's signs fucking everywhere. Now, here's my thing. Don't go to one that is going to charge you $300 fucking dollars.
No.
That is ridiculous, because they're charging you for a diagnosis and adding a bunch of hidden fees and everything. It should not be fucking $300. We would like to shout out our friends at the Greenbridge Society, who is a telecom certified physician group based in Tyrone, Pennsylvania. You can Google them. You can find them on Facebook. They have their own website. You just fill out a form, talk about what of the, I think it's 16 diagnoses now that's on the list.
So. Yeah.
That you have. If you have any supporting documentation, just kind of talk to them. You can phone call, emails, forms, and it'll be, I think it's $100 for the first one, and then $75 after that, or is it $75 and then $50? I can't remember.
It's I want to say it's $75 for the first consult, and then you have to pay for an assessment.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have any paperwork to get sent over to them, and then if you have to pay the state $50.
I'm getting to that point. But it's a max $100.
I thought mine was more expensive for some reason. I took an assessment. I know that.
Yeah, I didn't. I think mine was $75.
Yeah, because I had an assessment plus the new patient stuff. There's also like a new patient fee, which is just to get all your information in there and stuff.
But like they'll quote you on that. We're too high. But basically you have to get certified. And now when you get renewed, you have to get certified again to prove that you have the diagnosis, the symptoms of why you're using medical marijuana again. And
up until actually rather recently, you had to pay to be recertified. You had to retake whatever it was, however you got certified, whatever assessment. You had to be reassessed for your card.
Mm-mm.
I believe so. I thought it was at the beginning of the program you had to be reevaluated and reassessed. And now
you do in a way, yes and no, because you don't have to go through a full assessment. You don't have to do all the exact paperwork over again. they're just kind of going to talk over everything. Now, certain things that are going to be like that could go away, like certain things like cancer, extreme back pain, or anything from a surgery and everything. They could be using that instead of like Vicodin. Those could be, you know what I mean? But things like PTSD, anxiety, Parkinson's, just to name a few, those things aren't going to go away. So they're really just going to be like, hey, just doing a recheck. Everything's still the same. Yeah. Okay.
I don't even get asked that anymore. When they call me to recertify me, they're just like, you're still good. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because like a lot of this stuff doesn't go away. A lot of the stuff that's on here is forever, unfortunately, or till, whatever you got left. So like they just have to do that to make sure, like, say someone who thankfully has, cancer and they beat it. Well, you're not going to have that diagnosis anymore, so you can't continue to use the card, or you can't get renewed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for that condition, if you no longer qualify with that condition.
But they're not like full assessments usually.
Okay, see, I was under the impression that a while ago that you had to do that.
I think it's just the way the wordage is a little bit confusing. Like technically,
anything to do with the fucking state of Pennsylvania is confusing as shit.
Like technically, you are getting as an assessment again, but it's not like you have to go through like an hour-long psych eval all over again. You know what I mean? But it could have been different. Like, but I don't remember having to do that. Who's when I got recertified like that. You know what I mean? But here are all the conditions that are allowed that you can be registered as a patient in the medical marijuana program. Can you read that first one for me, since you know doctor stuff?
Yes. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
Okay, don't know what that means. But if you have it, you can get your medical card. Anxiety disorders.
Hi.
Autism. Cancer, including remission therapy. Crohn's disease. Damage to nervous tissue of the central nervous system, parentheses, brain and spinal cord. Now it's not the time to play on my bag. I love you, buddy, but no. With objective neurological implications of intractable, spastic, and otherwise associated neuropathies. What's that one?
Do you need help? Dyskinetic and spastic movement disorders.
Okay. Epilepsy, glaucoma, HIV or AIDS, Huntington's disease, inflammatory bowel syndrome. Oh, disease. That's a disease. Intractable seizures, multiple sclerosis. I am not a doctor. I never studied a whole lot of medical stuff. Like, I read some anatomy textbooks and everything for my art stuff, but I never heard it. So
yeah, it's different from looking at it and hearing it.
Where was I? Neurodegenerative diseases, neuropathies, opioid use disorder, for which conventional therapeutic interventions are contradicted or ineffective, or of which objective therapy indicated in combination with primary therapeutic interventions. Basically, get off opioids without using Narcan, or with Narcan. I think that's the opioid drug to help you with the withdrawals, right?
Yes, I think so.
Parkinson's disease, post-traumatic stress disorder, severe or intractable pain of neuropathic origin, or severe chronic or untraceable pain. Fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
Sickle cell anemia, terminal illness, or Tourette syndrome. So, if you have any of those, you go to and you want to try cannabis to see if it'll help you. You go to a certified physician. They certify you in some way or form. They send the paperwork to the state. Cool. That part's done. Then you either get an email or the doctor gives you paperwork to where you got to start filing out. But the website is PADOHMMP.gov. .custhelp.com, I want to say, or .org. I'll put the link in, but I've had to write this for so many patients at this point. I know most of it like the back of my hand, but I'm high. I want to say it's .org though.
I could make a joke.
What?
I'm mostly high at work too, so like, what's your excuse then?
I have a computer in front of me with the
You're
link
right.
saved
It's
into
fucking
it.
hyperlinked in front of you.
It's also on a paper right in
Yeah.
front of my dad, like right in front of my keyboard.
Yeah.
But anyway, you go there, you create an account. It's tied in with your social security number. You put in your information, and you basically pay the state. Now, the state with Act 44, which I think it was House Bill 1537. I could be mistaken. It's been a while since I've seen what the bill was. But basically, they implemented some changes to the medical marijuana program to make it more accessible for people who are on fixed income, on food stamps, people who don't have enough funds to pay for a lot of this stuff.
People who are on Medicaid or Medicare.
So if you're on any form of government assistance, you can either get half of it or all of it, that fee.
Oh, it is now all of it. It is you are zero fees across the board. So your state fee, if you are on Medicaid, Medicare, any sort of state assistance in Pennsylvania, you don't have to pay the state registration fee anymore.
There was something that you can get half, though. I can't remember.
It used to half it.
It used to be half?
Yeah, because it's $50 state fee. It used to just have it to $25.
Okay.
And now it has completely removed it. The next step in that bill, whatever it was called, I'm not even going to attempt to remember because I know it's gone. As soon as you said it to me whenever we were talking about this before, is going to implement hopefully some sort of like card like food stamps that you can go
like an
and
EBT card.
yeah, like an EBT card. Also, fun thing from working at a dispensary and talking about the state, when you file your taxes, keep your receipts. You can write that off as a medical expense on your taxes.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. That's really smart.
Fun fact, I learned that from my coworker.
But yeah, just make sure you get it all completed, get the final screen, and then jot down in the calendar certification date. So this is going to be a big tip for you guys, so you know. The certification date and the date you get your card and the card is active are totally different. A lot of the times, you can have a card. I'll use mine for example. Mine's active August 27th. My certification date, the renewal, is at the end of like the second week of August, or like somewhere around there. It's like mid-August. I always pay mine over a month ahead, so I'm not too worried about it. But some people don't know this, and so there's a burp that was stuck. Sorry. They try using their card, but it won't work because they haven't paid the certification fee, because you have to do that every year as well for the state. You're right.
There's something in my eye. I'm gonna be okay.
But so why do they do this? Well, so you pay your certification. You got to wait about like at most a week for your card. Things happen. You get it like on a Friday. You're going to lose 2 business days. So it's going to be even pushed back further.
Usually the date on the card is also 10 days out from the date that you applied for.
Yes. And so that they do that to like, in case the delays in mail, something happens, you don't get your card like you're expecting it. But you can't go in until that date is active. So my new one is active August 27th. Say I'm brand new to the program. I couldn't go in until exactly August 27th.
No, I'm curious. Just one. Oh man,
What?
Could have been cool. 4/19. I started in the cannabis industry on 4/21.
But next year your card activates because it does the next day. So your
on
card activates on 4/20.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to like make sure you go on that day, or else they won't be able to let you into the dispensary. But then, you can go get your weed. Most people recommend going to the pharmacist. You don't have to, but if you have a lot of medications and you're not sure, I would recommend speak with a pharmacist, especially if you have like a lot of medicine, supplements, any allergies you might have.
Or just any questions ever. Just
Any
you can always
big-
talk to a pharmacist.
Yes, any big, super high-end medical questions, the pharmacist. Now, you're good. The CAs are very educated. I can't speak for every dispensary. The ones at my dispensary do a lot. We help people like, hey, I have anxiety. Okay, well, here's the terpenes that are going to help you. Here's the terpenes that might not help you, so we're going to avoid that. If you have any like lung issues, no, okay, we might recommend vaporization. If they do, maybe tinctures or capsules, RSO, stuff like that. Now, we already touched on renewal. So we touched on renewing already, but just kind of reiterate on that. You have to go back to the doctor. You have to get new paperwork sent in. Most of the time, it's just, yep, you still have this. They send it back to the state, and then you have to pay that fee on the anniversary. My recommendation is do it as soon as you get the email from the state to renew your card.
That way you don't forget.
Because the sooner you get it already set up, the faster it's going to be. I had my new card a month before I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm one of those people that's like, yes, I'm getting this done now. So some things I've asked some of my coworkers, and some other people online, for those who work in the dispensary in Pennsylvania, what some things that we think y'all should know. Now, first thing is the forms of cannabis. We have flower, we have vaporizers, we have concentrates like dabs, butter, shatter, like all the things you can dab. Butter. Do you want to take over while I go make sure the cat's not getting it?
I think he's just getting down from being on top of the cabinets.
Okay, I just want to make sure he wasn't trying to get in the sink.
I would do want to clarify when you said vaporizers, vape cartridges, because flour also has to be vaporized.
Yeah. We have flour, concentrates like butter, shatter, all that stuff, rosin, resin. Then you have vape cartridges in different forms, different battery packs. RSO, or Rick Simpson oil. Tinctures. Now with the tinctures, they're not alcohol based, so you can put them under your tongue, but it's not going to absorb as easy as alcohol based tinctures will. So my recommendation with that is to just put it in something that's fatty and eat it or drink it.
Mm-hmm.
And same with RSO, make sure you're taking that with a fat protein. And then
peanut butter is great for RSOs.
Yes.
Peanut butter is great for anything with cannabis. It's a very good protein. Unless you're allergic to it, then definitely
don't do that. And then capsules.
Mm-hmm.
Capsules and tinctures are only. I don't like calling them edibles. They're edibles on our menu. I like to call them ingestibles.
Yeah, because edible has different connotations.
Yes, exactly. Now, that being said, nowhere in Pennsylvania that is using medical marijuana or any Delta 9 THC products that is not hemp derived is legally able to sell edibles. So what I mean by that, no brownies, no gummies, no candy,
no soda,
no infused food of any kind, per the way the law is written, is basically too appealing to children. So if you go anywhere and you find that, just be cautious, because 10 to 1 odds they're breaking the law. And I'm not saying that's for legal reasons, just be safe. Because you don't want to, because if you get caught, and this is something I learned recently from one of my coworkers, if you get caught on the street smoking cannabis, like actual cannabis, not hemp, and you're not in the medical marijuana program, you just get a fine, maybe a slap on the wrist, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you get caught in the medical marijuana program, either smoking it, paraphernalia, sharing it, you can actually lose your card and get a huge, like a $600 fine and go to jail your second or third time you're getting caught with it. So yeah, another thing was here, yeah, don't buy for your friends, even if they have a med card, this is gonna have serious issues. We kind of touched on this one before. Flower can't be combusted, it has to be vaporized. And a product like the IQC from DaVinci. When transporting cannabis, now this one's kind of a gray area because of the way the law is written. It says original, it has to be labeled with the original labeling and packaging. Now, I had a patient try that told me he puts in like this little grinder thing. It's like a kind of like a fat medicine container.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it pre-grinds it, like it kind of puts it in, it grinds it all and then puts it in. He takes all the stickers off, puts it on. I told him keep the container just to be on the safe side. He said, well, I got pulled over by the cops and like it was fine. And I'm like, yeah. Cops don't know the law. They don't legally have to require to know all the law in their head. That's why we have lawyers. So,
but also it was okay that time.
Yes, that time.
If you have a cop that's having a bad day, it's not going to be okay.
Because he's going to be, why isn't it in the original packaging? So, just to cover your butts, CYA, cover your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it in the original container. If you're transporting it, definitely keep it in the original container, even if it's open or not. Keep it in the back seat or the trunk. Pennsylvania, we're really weird. You have to keep alcohol in the trunk or the furthest back seat you have in your vehicle.
Whoops. I definitely haven't done that before.
No. That's the way the law is. It's basically to keep it from looking like you're drinking and driving.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, if you have a trunk, throw it in there. If you have a back seat, at least keep it in the back seat.
Keep it at arm's reach. That's what I tell everybody.
Exactly.
Out of arm's reach until you get out of the vehicle.
You cannot have any paraphernalia. If you're caught with breaking any of the side laws with medical cards, you can lose your card and get 6 months jail time after the second charge. So it's $600, I think up to a $600 fine for the first time, and then 6 months of jail the second time. No questions asked. Oh, here's one from one of my coworkers. Don't chase THC.
Yeah, don't be a THC chaser.
THC isn't everything. We've had patients that like snub their nose like CBD. CBD is really good to have, especially with cannabis. It creates this thing called the entourage effect, which we can do a deep episode with.
Yeah.
But basically, you want some CBD. CBD products are really good when you're too high and you need something to kind of bring you down. Chew on some peppercorn and take a CBD capsule.
You could don't be the person who comes into the dispensary being like, I want 35% flour, because that barely ever happens.
That's super rare to get 32% flour. I tell patients all the time, look, if you get like 31.6, what are you looking at?
There's a bug on the window. I'm sorry.
That's okay. If you get like 31.6, be fucking happy.
Yeah.
Because that's about as high as you're going to get with flour most of the time. If you see like anything, like I had a patient said, well, I saw 40. I said, yeah, they're probably falsifying the lab reports.
Mm-hmm.
Don't trust it. Because we've learned so much in the last few years with like terpenes and everything, and terpenes are going to give you the proper effects. I keep telling people, don't follow sativa indica hybrid.
It's all about the terpenes.
Those are old botanical terms. Just focus on the terpenes. But the thing is, too, a lot of states, Pennsylvania is really rare. I think we're one of the small handful of states that produces the terpene report and has to have it on the labeling.
Which I really appreciate.
I really do. And when we go rec, I hope we don't lose that. I pray, knock on wood. Ow. We don't lose that.
Sound like the wood knocked on you.
There are multiple different types of battery systems in this state and a few other states too with vaporized cartridges.
Yeah.
So you have the 510 thread, which is just 5/10 of an inch threading. You screw it on a stick battery or like some palm batteries, different kinds. Basically, It's like a nicotine battery. Like you go to a gas station, you see those screw-on cap cartridges.
It's one size fits all.
Exactly, because they're all 510 thread.
Fun fact: the Yokan that I have runs off fucking 510 thread battery.
Mm-hmm. But then you have like the ones like the Prime Pods, the PAX, the Era Pods,
The Dart Pods,
the Aero Pods. Just make sure you're getting, if you're going to get those batteries, get the system that works for it. Aero Pods only work for Aero batteries. Dart Pods only work for the Dart battery. Eye Crusher Pod, which right now is the only one in the state from Prime that can go with the Prime battery pack system, are just for the Prime battery pack systems. I don't know if there's any company. Rumors are there going to be some other companies that have some that use the Prime battery pack system or the Eye Crusher battery. I don't know what it's technically called.
Yeah, it's called the Eye Crusher.
They are going to have pods for that because they have them out west more.
Listen, I'm concerned with getting the battery at this point. I haven't had the battery in my dispensary in months.
Oh, we have some in ours.
We haven't gotten them.
Do research before going into a dispensary, even if it's your first time, because any knowledge is good knowledge, and you can talk about it. Now, don't be like, well, I know THC is what I'm looking for, or I know this. It's more of, hey, I was reading some stuff about like terpenes, or I would listen to Smoking Out the Closet and they talked about terpenes. Can you explain more about that? Ask for more questions, ask for clarification in that way. Because if you're just gonna be like, well, I know this because I did 10 minutes of research on Google, you're just gonna come off as a dick.
Yeah, nobody likes that person either.
We're
gonna make fun of you just as the same as we're gonna make fun of the 35% THC guy.
I got two more things. One is sign up for newsletters for your go-to dispensaries, or, and this is one I added, all the dispensaries in your area to gain the best ability to get discounted weed so you can game the system.
Yeah, shop the sales.
Yes.
That's what I tell everybody that comes into my place.
So if you sign up for their newsletters, they're going to send you emails, text messages of, hey, this is discounted weed. We have this on sale today. Most dispensaries have a new patient discount, but there's some weird limitations. Like Trulieve has 50% off, but there's a cap on how much money or product you can use with that.
Really?
Fuck you, Trulieve.
That sucks.
Fuck you, Kim Rivers, too. Fucking selling out your husband so you can take over the company and bullshit. Fucking twat waffle. Anyway.
They don't have a great record.
No.
What was it called? A checkerboard record? I heard it called on Twitter.
Oh, I'd never heard that.
It's a checkered background.
Huh.
Because I can't remember what his name is. Our friend over at the Honeybee Collective, Chris, yeah,
okay.
He was talking about it and how like big tobacco companies are looking at buying out like MSOs and stuff that aren't doing super great because of their checkered background like that. I like that phrase.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know, it's like yesterday I was scrolling through Twitter.
And last thing is headspace and vape cartridges are a thing. You're not getting ripped off. So this one is one of my friends added, and we've seen that a lot on the subreddit. So there's two major subreddits I'm on. It's PA medical marijuana, which everyone talks about products and everything. Sales are going on at different dispensary chains, and then there's r/trees.
Mm-hmm.
Now my things with both of these is a lot of people talk about the headspace. When you get a vape cartridge, it is filled by weight, not volume. So it is half a gram of weighed product oil. It's 500 milligrams of oil. That is weight, not volume. Now, a lot of these vape companies are using some tech borrowed from the nicotine vape industry. They're using coils and wicks. These wicks absorb some of the oil, so you're going to have a little headspace just from air being in there naturally, even if they fill the glass all the way up. That wick gets wet and absorbs some of it like a sponge. So you can't see my fingers doing this, but trust me,
I can see you.
Spreading.
I'm watching you.
You're going to lose some of that oil in the container because it's absorbed by, it's not technically cotton, but the cotton of the wick.
Some of them are cotton, yes. Oh, sorry.
You're good. So there's going to be headspace. We're not ripping you off. We're not opening the containers and hitting it like I've seen some people complain about. Like, they're not shorting you. Now, flour, weigh that sometimes. I've literally seen a container be empty just because of a shipping issue.
Yeah, I've seen it on Reddit.
No, at my dispensary.
Holy
shit.
Yeah, no.
So definitely just be one of those things that, like, flour, yes, check the weight. Vape cartridges, weigh it, but it's more likely it's going to be a little up because of the container you're in. So if you have an empty container, use that to zero it out and then just be like, oh, okay, it's this. But that headspace is normal. That headspace is natural because science.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get that with pre-filled nicotine vape cartridges as well. Because I think a lot of people complain about it because they were never in that field because they never saw it.
Yeah.
But we're actually out of time.
Sorry, I feel like I've just been sitting here listening to you talk.
You're good.
I interjected some places.
So once again, I'm Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Alex, I use they, them pronouns.
And this has been another episode of
Smoking Out the Closet.
Bye-bye. Rayven here. I just wanted to make a little ad for our Patreon that we started. First and foremost, all the funds generated with this Patreon is going to go directly back into the podcast, whether that's better equipment so we can make better sounding episodes, give you guys really cool stuff like stickers, pictures, nice little trinkets from us, or be able to travel to places where there is legal weed or there's certain LGBT communities that we want to interact with and talk to, and potentially have some really cool guests come on the show. Now, right now our Patreon is bare bones, and I do apologize with that, but we hope to make it a little better as time goes on. Right now we have 3 tiers: flour, vape cartridges, and concentrates. Flour is $3 per month. Vapes is $6 per month, and concentrates is $9 per month. With flour, you get access to our Discord, the Zkittle Zone, a private Discord that we have for you guys to kind of interact with each other and potentially interact with us. We have things for like different aspects of the cannabis community and LGBT community where you guys can talk to and kind of just interact with each other and learn from each other, and learn with us. But you also get early access to these episodes. You get a day or two, basically immediately after I'm done editing the episode, I am putting it on the Patreon so you guys can listen to it early. With vape, you have everything from the flour, but you also have access to the private chat room in the Discord server for one-on-one discussions and questions for us. You'll have the ability to basically be, hey, I have a question about this certain thing, and we'll answer it at the end of every episode. We won't get to everyone all at the same time, obviously, but we'll spread it out through the month and be able to get to as many questions as we can. And then with the concentrates, you get everything from flour and vape, but you also get behind the scenes looks at what we do here. I'll show like what I'm editing and like maybe little sound files or like little clips of what we're working on. Our show notes, so you get to see that early, potentially, knowing what topics we're going to be talking about on this next episode. Pictures of stuff in and outside of the recording stuff, like things like cannabis festivals. We'll take pictures and post some of them online, but with the behind the scenes access, you get to see all of that. Basically, all the dumb faces we make at each other, all the cool stuff that we see, and all the cute things that we find. It's my hope with this Patreon that we'll be able to go far and wide and hopefully be able to see some of you guys or have some live shows in the future where you guys can come and interact with us. And obviously no pressure. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of this, and first and foremost, take care of you guys yourselves. If you don't have money to support it, or if something happens you have to stop, we totally understand. Thanks.